Good morning and welcome to a new edition of the Betting Connection podcast. My name's Chris. I'm here as always with my co-host Rob. Rob, less than 2 weeks to Christmas. Are you ready?
Not yeah. We have the Christmas tree set up this week, to be honest. And my wife likes to make like she finds these little balls, but like different ones. So we have like a hamburger hanging around. We have like a little donut and like a little guy, like a rabbit. So we all have funny things but it's our first year with our baby with the Christmas tree, so we have to find out if he can stay away from it. So far so good. How are you good doing?
Yeah, I'm good as well. Our tree went up, I think, the weekend before last. But yeah, no, we have to worry about the cats jumping up the tree. The child is okay; he's old enough to behave himself these days around a Christmas tree. But yeah, the cats are a different matter, and we have to keep an eye on them. But yeah, kind of
Great.
ready, kind of ready. But now you've got your little one. The whole meaning of Christmas changes, Rob, and it will never be the same again, the same relaxing time ever again. So good luck with that, my friend.
Okay, thank you for the heads up.
And anyway, let's move on to all things betting, all things soccer. We had a winning podcast last week, Rob. We turned the previous week loss into a slight win last week, so we're back on track.
Back on track. Yeah, we had
Back
a
on.
decent weekend. Was a decent week. Could have been better, but yeah, we had some solid picks. To be honest, I liked a couple of them.
Yeah, it was. There was some good ones, and there was a couple of little losses as well, which made it a bit topsy turvy weekend. Really, we finished on just the podcast picks alone. It was up 1.68 units, so nothing crazy, but it does cover the losses from the previous week. And now we're on 13 out of 16 winning podcasts. So, overall we're still up massively. So can't grumble too much.
Yeah, we can't. And yeah, there were a couple of teams that we were looking into, like you don't think of them before the season that you're gonna bet them. But then again, it turned out to be good picks, and like FC Utrecht, Fiorentina seems to keep on delivering. And I have a new little gem with Santa Clara. I really like the name
Santa
as well.
Clara.
It's close
Santa
to Santa
Clara.
Claus, right? Santa Clara. It's close.
I don't know, but it's nice. It's a nice festive sound to it. And we mentioned on the pod last week that finding some random teams, like you say, that you don't normally look at when you when you're picking your teams for the weekend. And yeah, FC Utrecht, that's Parma's one as well. Santa Clara. So we mentioned all those last week. They came in. You had that double with Fiorentina and Atletico, although Atletico left it late and unreal, wasn't it? 3-1 down with not that long left.
Diego Simeone did it again.
Yeah.
He's
And of course, Rob, the big Gun Acca, back to winning ways as well. That came in nicely.
Yeah, glad to be back on winning track with the big Gun Acca. Always feels good. Really going for it this weekend. So hope we can deliver.
Yeah, I saw your lineup and I was like, God, Rob's got a winner again last week. He's going big again. So it'll be interesting to listen to that, as will the listeners. Just one
Pick
thing,
and choose, listeners. Pick and choose.
it can be one of those. Let's see what you got lined up later. But look, you've gone big before, and they all came in. So look, let's see what you've got and see if we like all of them or selection. Rob, one question. Like, we normally talk about the wins and losses. The one question that I had for you this week regarding losses. Do you see every loss the same, or do you have a feeling like when there's a team that you pick that loses, do you sometimes think with hindsight, why did I do that? Or is there losses that are not like that when it is a loss, but you're like, you know what, that was a good bet. That was a good bet, and I don't regret that at all. It was sound. It just didn't come in on the day. Do you have those different types of feelings around losses?
Yes, I do. And definitely when you look at a match, when you're watching it live or you're looking at the stats or like the XG market, in hindsight, you could have think like, okay, it was still a good bet. Like they had most of the possession, they tried to create something, it just didn't happen. Or the opponent got like a lucky corner goal in the beginning of the match that changes everything. At least with where I want to be happy about is the price that I choose. And if it's a value pick and it doesn't come in, then it doesn't come in. And I know it's a game in the long run. You know, we have so many bets throughout the year that it's just about staying steady and just staying calm and not try to chase your losses and just try to stay within your bankroll management. And then again, I do also have those losses that I think, why did I add this little play for my Acca, or why did I put it like this? I think that's betting. Do you have what do you think about it?
Yeah, the reason I mentioned it because I've had a couple in the last week where I've thought, yeah, it's a loss, but I felt like it was still a solid bet for the reasons that you said as well in terms of the odds available. So one last weekend that I picked on here was Osasuna. They
Mm.
ended up they ended up bigger than even money before that game last weekend, and I think it was Alaves they were playing, and when they went 1-0 down, they went 2-1 up, and I was thinking, right, here we go. It finished 2-2. We're very frustrated because that was the difference between a really big weekend for me, and so it was a bit of a frustrating one. But I think with the odds being at home, everything that we spoke about before, I still come away thinking that was a solid bet. The other one that I had on the socials this week was the Burnley match, and that played out exactly how kind of expected. It was mentioned that, that Burnley had such an amazing defence. Derby never looked like they were going to score in a month of Sundays, and Burnley just couldn't find the goal. And they were really good odds. I really was surprised by the price on it. And it was just one of those where you came away a bit frustrated, but like, no, it was a solid bet. But the one that really stood out is the underdog pick that I picked last week, if you remember,
Mm.
against Dortmund, wasn't it? The derby.
Yeah,
And what was the odds? It was over 3.1. And I was obviously when you make a pick like that, you're kind of scared that it's a complete disaster and Dortmund end up winning like 4-0 and you're like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? But it wasn't. It seemed like quite a cagey game. When you look at all the stats and the XG, all the underlying stats, it did suggest that it was a fair result. It finished 1-1. All the underlying stats suggested that it should have been 1-1. But when you've got such a good odds of over three and you make a pick like that, and it is a game that just it could have just gone any way on the day. You come away thinking, you know what, it wasn't a bad pick, and on another day, just find a way of getting that winner, and all of a sudden, Mönchengladbach win. You get a really nice odds on top of the profit, and you think, it worked out well. But like, do you know what I mean? It's like it was a game that could have gone either way. So therefore, when you take the odds of such juicy amount, it makes it worth the shot.
exactly. Because the match turns out to be like quite evenly matched, and you choose the underdog to win. So the price is always right at that moment, and then you just have to make the percentage that Gladbach wins those matches. But it's maybe gonna happen this weekend. Maybe you have another underdog lined up for us.
I don't have a large underdog this week, but yeah, like I say, I think the last week it was kind of it played out. We like I say, we were up a little bit on the podcast. We put some on the socials as well. That was a bit up and down. We were just up over the socials as well. It was just one of those weekends where it could have been massive, but I came away thinking, you know what? Everything was a solid bet. I didn't think there was one that we put out there was like, oh, that was a terrible bet. There was just a few things that didn't go our way. And yeah, we move on to this week and see if we can nail it.
Exactly.
So we move on to this week and start as usual in the Premier League. Premier League, I don't actually have any value picks in the Premier League this weekend. Just thought we'd have a quick chat on it as well, in case you've got anything as well. But Liverpool didn't play last weekend. Worked out pretty well for them in the end.
Yeah, worked out great for them. To be honest, you don't know how it's going to work out because they're going to end up with a double game week later this year. So maybe they already have a tough list of fixtures. And I think Arne Slot, he rotated for the game against Newcastle just to get like out of the heavy schedule. And then he doesn't play on Saturday. That's what always happens. But yeah, points wise, definitely a good weekend for them. Another good weekend. And I hope they can continue. I actually had this little statement. I was talking about Gravenberg. You know, I really like him a lot. And I was saying, in this moment of time, in this short period while he's playing that good, he's a little bit like a modern Pirlo. What do you think about it?
Modern Pirlo.
For this short amount of time, it's not like he has a
Uh,
lot like to live up
who
to
made
standards
that
of
comment?
Pirlo. But at this moment, just in this time, he's like, I think he's the key to their success, to be honest. Like he's the biggest change for Liverpool, and he loves to like play in between the lines, and he works really well together with Van Dijk. And I like that he's very strong, very athletic, but he also has this technical skill to find the true ball here and there where he can like quicken up the play.
Yeah, I mean, look, every successful team needs a tempo maker. I think that's the key part. Tempo maker can speed it up when they need to, can slow it down when they have to. Those type of players are really important, and I think he has added that to Liverpool. I think under Klopp it was always bang, 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 and I think with Slot they can dial it up and turn it down as and when. I think
Exactly.
he's a key part to that.
Yeah, temporized. And what do you think about Arsenal?
Well, I thought actually Arsenal dominated the match from start to finish. I think I saw Fulham had two touches in Arsenal's box in the whole game. Two touches in the opposition box, which is crazy how dominant the performance was. But Arsenal do sometimes feel like they lack something in the attacking part, and yeah, just don't always seem to create much. And we play fine margin football. We dominate football matches, but play fine margin football, and sometimes that goes against you. The fine margin being Martinelli offside in the last minute with the cross that Saka put in, and then all of a sudden you're thinking 4 points behind Liverpool, and then it's taken away, and you're back to thinking Liverpool have lucked it out this weekend. But as you say, you don't know what's going to happen when that match gets rescheduled. And I've got a lot of Liverpool mates, weirdly and annoyingly, so they're up in my grill on Sunday and saying, "Oh, what a blessing it was. They didn't want to play in those conditions." But I just thought, look, if you give me an opportunity to play a derby match away from home, I'd rather play at 12:30 in the afternoon than under the lights, sandwiched in midweek. So I understand the weather conditions on that day were horrific, but if you're playing away at Everton, you don't want to be playing it midweek under the lights, everyone having a beer in them. Nah, not for me.
Okay, I think so
So
too.
I think there will come a time when that's a difficult match for Liverpool. But look, let's see. There's a lot of fixtures coming up. I think it will play out in the next few weeks to see exactly what they're looking like, and Chelsea are definitely in this as well.
Yeah, Chelsea looks very, yeah, we talked about it before, but they look like the real deal, to be honest. And they're getting actually shorter and shorter on price as well. They get priced up as really favorites against Brentford again. Uh, so I do have a couple of picks lined up for the big Gun Acca, but besides that, I don't really see any value this weekend in England in the Premier League. And just in Chelsea in general, yeah, it's just amazing that the manager can cope so well with such a big squad. And yeah, really good. What do you think about them?
Yeah, I think they're in it. They look like they can score when they want, which is a huge change from the last few seasons where they were the king of not making the most of their XG. They created a lot of XG over the last couple of seasons, but didn't convert. And now they're making most of their opportunities. They look like they can score. They do still look vulnerable defensively for me, and that was shown again at the weekend. But look, you've got to be in it to win it. They're 4 points behind Liverpool. Yes, they got a game in hand. But like I say, it's a long season, and title winners always step up and find that regular consistency the back end of the season. So I think it's still too early to call, but yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. And as for the games this weekend, yeah, it's difficult. There's not value there really. You've got the teams like Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, even Newcastle. They're all really short, about 1.3. So I imagine we might see some of these later in your Acca. And yeah, there's not a lot else there. Like Wolves are 1.9 and the manager's on the ropes, literally. You've got Forest against Villa, difficult game to call. You've got the Manchester derby, which we'll talk about in the quick fire round. So there's not a lot out there. The only one that stood out a little bit was Tottenham away at Southampton at 1.73. I was very tempted to talk about this as a value pick because Southampton aren't great, but you just don't know sometimes what Tottenham you're going to get. And I don't think that's a bet worth making. I don't know what you think. Tottenham away at Southampton.
Exactly the same. Sometimes I look at Southampton and I think they are not that bad. They really try to play football. They really try to create something, play out from the back. And yeah, as you said, Tottenham, it's a mixed bag. It could go either way. They can really show up and play really well, get a lot of goals, scored 3 times against Chelsea. That's not bad. But then again, conceding 4 is also unbelievable. So yeah, I stay away from that match.
Yeah, my sentiments exactly. So yeah, it is a lean. It's one if you like it. It's like I say, I think it's a pretty decent price. But Tottenham, yeah, you just don't know. And again, another one where the manager has started to get the concerns and the anger from some of the Tottenham fans. The Tottenham fans in my life, they're all happy with how things are going. They just like entertaining football. But the fans at the stadium, at the ground, especially the away fans, don't seem to agree with that and are starting to get on his back. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, let's see how it plays out.
Let's see. So in terms of Premier League, we don't have anything to pick. I have found something in England before we move on, and this is down in League One, the third tier of English football. It's on Saturday, and it's Shrewsbury, depending on your pronunciation, versus Wycombe. Wycombe are 1.7 to win this game, and this is top versus bottom. I actually tipped Wycombe a couple of weeks ago on our socials, and they only managed to draw at Exeter on that day, which was frustrating because they pretty much dominated it after going 2 goals down early. So they drew that match. They followed that up with a draw last week as well at home to Reading. So this is a team that had the most outrageous winning run in English football, full stop, and probably one of the best in Europe. I think Barcelona were up there with a winning run at one point, and yeah, you've got your Celtics and PSVs, but Wycombe were also on that type of run where they were literally winning every game. So that run seems to be over, but they're still not losing. Okay, and this is a game where you just think, well, surely they're going to get back to winning ways, playing bottom of the league. This is a team, they've only got 11 points from the 18 games played. They've lost 6 of the last 8. I think the only reason that we're getting a good price here on Wycombe is because Shrewsbury actually had a shock result. They won at home to Birmingham a few weeks ago. I think it was 3-2. So I think that's why this has been priced, because Shrewsbury have shown maybe they can beat a better team, but they followed that result up with another 2 losses. So I'm going to call that an anomaly and say, look, that was just a freak result. The only other 2 matches they didn't lose at home were to teams down at the bottom. So it really was, when you look at the results that they've had this season, it just stands out like a sore thumb, that one against Birmingham. They've only won other games against poor teams. Everyone else they've lost to. They've lost 6 out of their 9 home matches in total. And Wycombe, as I put in the tip on the socials a few weeks ago, they've only lost 1 away, and that was to Wrexham, who have the best home record. They've played 4 away matches to other poor teams in the bottom eight, and they won all 4 of those, and they won this fixture 2-0 last season. So I just think this is a game where Wycombe are going to get back to winning ways. 1.7 for a top versus bottom. I think it's good value.
Okay, you backed it up with some stats as well. I like it. The only thing I know about Wycombe is there was one famous player, Adebayo Akinfenwa. Do you
Fucking
remember him?
Fenway, yeah, remember that beast?
Yeah, his nickname is actually the Beast, and I know him because he was physical in FIFA or EA Sports, or I don't know how you call it now. But he was 99 physical, and yeah, I always liked that guy. But
Yeah,
I
he
like him.
definitely looked physical. I wouldn't put him through one of those bleep tests. I don't know if he'd pass one of those,
Wow,
but he was
imagine
a he
going
was a
up like
he was a
standing in
specimen.
the tunnel next to him and like, okay, that's gonna be a tough Sunday.
Yeah, that you wouldn't fancy it as a centre back, would you? Really? So yeah, good old Akinfenwa. But that is true. So let's go Wycombe for the weekend, and we'll move on to the Netherlands. Then your section. I think you found quite a few games this weekend, Rob.
Yeah, there were some interesting prices, to be honest. I have a couple of games that I wanted to discuss. On Friday, we're gonna kick off with PEC Zwolle against Willem II. And PEC Zwolle is a team that really tries to play good football, really tries to create something, play up from the back. But they weren't lucky in the beginning of the season. They seem to have turned it around a little bit. They're known to be quite good at home, and they're playing against Willem II. And Willem II is a team that got promoted last year from the second division, and they started off great. They do have good results, definitely at home, but they seem to have turned their luck lately. The last two matches they lost against a fellow promoted team, FC Groningen, and they got a loss at home against SC Heerenveen, and that's the team of Van Persie, if you remember. That's
Yep.
not doing that great at the moment, but they got an important win against Willem II. So I'm actually backing PEC Zwolle to win this game, and you can find it at even odds. So that's definitely because of the price as well. So yeah, that's my first pick on Friday night in the Eredivisie. Then next up,
Okay, great. I've actually got it at 205 here. It's not often I get Dutch football better odds than you, but I got it at 205, that one.
okay, just about over evens. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Oh,
No, just
okay.
joking.
I need to put him officially, Rob, what we got, because when I'm counting the odds at the end of the weekend, what we've done. So I've got 205. Perfect. Next.
Next up is Vitesse. We actually went against this team a couple of times, and that turned out great. But I actually like Vitesse, or definitely in the way that if you're a fan of Vitesse and you're always known to getting in the Eredivisie, you have like this big stadium, you're close to playing in Europe. You even had Ødegaard playing for your team, and now you're in the second league, almost at the bottom. I They're playing today, they're playing Friday night tomorrow against the young team of FC Utrecht. They're playing at home in the stadium. They actually playing a little bit better the last two matches. They won at home against Helmond Sport, and they got a draw against MVV. And if you look at Young Utrecht, they tend to lose a lot of matches. They lost last Monday 4-0 at home against FC Eindhoven, mid-class table. And you can find Vitesse. You written it down, right? Do
I've
you
got
have
it. I've
the
got it
price
here.
you have
Yeah.
on Vitesse?
I've got 1.75.
1.75. I have 1.78. I've got the
Okay.
prices.
Okay, great. FC Vitesse. Vitesse, I know this team. They've been in the top division mostly, no?
Yeah, they have.
Vitesse?
Yeah, they're actually they were always quite close to the traditional top three for a good while. So they were always chasing those European football teams. They have great players. Wilfred Bony was top goal scorer. A lot of Theo Jansen, great player in Holland as well. So they actually have a quite big history, definitely in the last couple of 20 years, 10 years.
Why I know this team?
No,
Because
tell me.
there was a Mr. Glenn Helder that played for Arsenal back in the 90s, and I think we signed him from Vitesse.
Yeah,
That's
that
how I remember this team.
Yeah, that could be. And do you remember Glenn Helder as well? He's related to this podcast in a way that he's a well-known gambler as well. He didn't
That's
had
right.
that much luck on that side. And to be honest, I sometimes watch him or he does interviews and he's playing the drums or somewhere in the TV show. But he's very, very comical. Like he has great anecdotes about his storytelling. It's very on point and he always has a laugh and he's a very positive guy. So at the moment, that's how I remember him. I don't remember him that much from his footballing day.
Oh well, I can tell you that he was quite the comical footballer as well. He's one of the only players I've ever seen play for Arsenal that constantly tackled himself. So that was fun to watch. I actually really liked this player. I really liked him at the time. But wow, he had moments of madness as much as moments of brilliance. But he was fun to watch.
I actually heard the story about him the other day. That the moment he was with his agent and the agent of Glenn Helder was telling the story, and the day that he was signing for Arsenal, he actually like he had to walk around somewhere to this office place with the receptionist, and they were walking next to this Rolex dealer, and he just goes like he didn't even sign the contract yet, but he said, "Okay, miss, you can choose whichever you want." And like the guy is like the manager is like, dude, you didn't even sign the contract yet. I don't mind. Just go ahead and buy one. It's a gift for you. You've been so nice for me since I've been here. So, and he said like, you only met her like 20 minutes. And he's like, I don't care. So yeah, it wasn't that well with his money.
Yeah, and that turned out to be true later in his life. So bless Glenn, but we've got them to win this weekend. Vitesse at 1.78.
Exactly. Okay, got a little bit of track on that part. Another value pick that I have, the last one that I have on my own. We have another one that you also like, I saw, but I have it also in the second division. It's FC Eindhoven playing at home against VVV, and you can back FC Eindhoven for 1.92. And yeah, FC Eindhoven is actually won the last three matches. They've been scoring quite a lot of goals. They seem to have turned it around. They're like mid-table, they're 11th. Last year they were a little bit closer to promotion spots or playoff spots. But if you look at the opponent, they have a terrible season so far. They're second to last. They only have 12 points out of 18 matches. And they've been just losing four matches out of the last five. And they finally got a draw at home. 0-0 against a mid-table team as well. And I actually like FC Eindhoven for the win at home for this price. So yeah, 1.92 FC Eindhoven.
Sounds good. So you've got they're all three of those matches Friday night, yeah?
Yeah, those matches are all on
Yeah.
Friday night.
Excellent. And we've got one other value pick in the Netherlands that we both like. It's our friends, FC Utrecht. They did us well last week. I fumbled a coin toss last week, but managed to get my hands on this as my bet of the week. They won the match comfortably, didn't they? In the end, it was a bit of a procession. I didn't see much of it, to be honest, but it seemed like it was fairly easy. And they came in for us, and we've got them again this weekend.
Yes, they have been a little bit of a standout team in Holland, definitely this season. When they go up against the bigger teams, they don't seem to have the quality, although they got a draw against Ajax. But definitely they didn't have a chance at home against PSV. But then again, if you look at the results against all the other teams, they just seem to keep on winning. And Go Ahead Eagles, although the name is very good, they're a little bit of a mixed bag. they had a great result last week, but it was at home, and it's like it's I don't know, not the same when they're playing at home. They have a very powerful fans. The stadium is not that big, but they're very enthusiastic. They really push the team forward. But same could be said about FC Utrecht. At home, definitely for that price. I can't understand why it's priced up like that. Why you
Well,
like?
yeah. Look, I mean, Go Ahead Eagles are eighth in the league, so you could argue that this is one of the better teams that FC Utrecht have previously struggled against. But you can't put Go Ahead Eagles in the same breath as PSV, Ajax, and Feyenoord, which are the only games that FC Utrecht haven't won in the last eight anyway. And they're good at home. And as you say, Go Ahead Eagles, the thing that stood out for me was that, yes, they're a great home team, but not a good away team. So they have only won two matches away from home. And those teams are both in the bottom five. They lost four of the other five played, so away from home. So they're actually poor away. And you're talking about a team here who is still second. FC Utrecht is still second in the league. And yeah, even money. What have you got? I got 2.0 exactly, but
Yeah, I have the 2.04 to be honest.
yeah.
2.04.
So look, even money for a team that pretty much are firing against a team that seemed to struggle away from home. It stood out. Great value. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, same. I like Utrecht as well. Go Utrecht!
Okay, so let's move on to Spain. I don't have any value picks in Spain this week. I normally find one, but not this weekend. But I think you've got something you like.
Yeah, I actually like Athletic Club. They're playing away from home against Deportivo Alaves. If you look at Deportivo Alaves, they lost their out of the last five matches, they didn't win any. They even went out of the Copa del Rey against a team that's playing like in the second division or third division, not sure. Deportivo Minera. So they're not in the best of form. And if you look around at the form table of Athletic Club, they won their last six matches, including two matches in the Europa League. They've beaten Real Madrid at home 2-1. That was impressive. They beaten Villarreal 2-0. So they're in quite a good form. They're close to the top of the table. They're in fourth place, and Deportivo Alaves are in 16th place. And I think it's also, I like the form, but I also have a little bit of gut feeling. Like this is one of those matches that Athletic really needs to win to stay up in the table. Like if you want to play for Champions League football or you want to get close to that top three or maybe even more, these are the kind of matches that they need to win. And I actually like them for the price that I found. And the price was, I don't have the prices really set up right.
I've got 2.15.
Okay, that sounds about right.
2.15. They won last night as well. Away at Fenerbahce
Yeah, and they
in
did it
Europa League.
convincingly. They scored twice in the first half, and then they just closed up shop.
Yeah. The only thing I saw that Nico Williams came off after 30 something minutes. I don't know if it was a bad injury or just precaution, not sure. But with or without, his brother's still there. His brother scored both goals, didn't he, yesterday? So they've still got enough firepower with or without it. But honestly, I have no idea. I don't even know if it was an injury or what. I had no idea. No idea.
No, me neither. Maybe it
But
was
worth
just,
checking team news closer to the time. But that price was the same. That price hasn't been adjusted since last night. That was the price before as well. So keep an eye on that. And but yeah, I like Bilbao as well. And it's funny you say that about kind of getting into top four or more. I keep looking at the Spanish league, thinking Barcelona and Real Madrid are making a bit of hard work of it lately. So Atletico Madrid are right in it. And yeah, Bilbao, could they? Could they? I mean, I don't think they've got the squad to mount a challenge, but they are only 6 points off Barcelona now.
exactly. And for that, I I just look at the price as well. And I actually saw the price now and it's 2.19. I found it for. So
Hmm.
I think it's a value play for a team that's been in this good a form. They're playing against a lower ranked team. Just the price is right. Like if you look at Barca or Real Madrid, the prices are getting shorter and shorter, even for Atletico. But this might be our little FC Utrecht from Spain at the moment. So
Okay.
I'm backing Athletic.
Yeah, it's a nice play, and I think we've mentioned on this pod before finding teams that find that form, and it does feel like Bilbao may be in that moment as well. So let's see if that's correct and take the value while we can, because we know what happens when they start winning too many. That price comes down.
Exactly.
Speaking of those other teams, the favourites, the Galacticos and the rest. Obviously, yeah, prices are short to find value on these teams, but I still thought that they were good value, especially the two Madrid teams this weekend. And that's why I'm going to make a play for a Madrid double at 2.20 because both teams to win, that's the odds you get. They're both around 1.5. And look, I don't know why I do this to myself. Real Madrid have been on and off my naughty list this season. They're such an annoying team, Real Madrid. And especially this season, it's quite crazy. But look, they're nearly 1.6 to win this match away at Vallecano. So they're almost in value pick range, which is quite incredible when you think about it, getting into the meat of the season against a pretty poor team. And you can find it at 1.6 almost. So, it goes to show how inconsistent Real Madrid have been. But I just get tempted by those odds. So I'm going to play the double with Atletico Madrid. I mean, Real Madrid are playing Vallecano. Vallecano have lost 3 of the last 4. So they're not in good form. They've lost their last 2 home matches. So, yeah, you just got to fancy like Madrid to turn up and do this, really. So I'm going to play Real Madrid and I'm going to put them with Atletico, their Madrid counterparts, and yeah, go for the form team because Madrid are in form and Atletico are in form. I know they made a bit of a mess of that Sevilla match, but they found a way. And title challengers, title credential teams find ways of winning matches even when they're 3-1 down in the second half, Rob. So you've got to back them at home against Getafe. Getafe have also lost 3 of the last 5. They've not won a single game away from home this season, Getafe. They've drawn 2. Okay, they did get 2 fairly decent results against Bilbao and Villarreal, both 1-1 draws away from home, but the rest have all been losses, all of them. So, yeah, got to continue the trend with Atletico Madrid, put the 2 together as a double, 2.2.
I like it. I like it. I'm backing that one as well.
Okay, great. So that's everything for Spain, correct, Rob? Nothing else?
No, nothing else. Staying away from my naughty list team, Barcelona at the moment. Yeah, it could be in a fun little Acca, but yeah, not for me this time.
Okay, so let's move on to Germany. Germany, I found a team, an interesting team, a team that I can't quite work out what they are, to be honest, and it's Stuttgart. Stuttgart, I don't know what you make of these, Rob, but they're in a bit of a funny season, aren't they? It's a bit of a mixed bag. They've had some amazing results. They started off really strong and finished last season strong. They're playing away this weekend to Heidenheim. Heidenheim is a team that I faded not too long ago, actually, with success. They are now Stuttgart are in they're on their patch. They're 1.85, and I just liked that price. Okay, they're currently 8th in the league, Stuttgart, which is probably underperforming for them, and it is a mixed bag in terms of form as well. They've won 3, drawn 3, lost 2 in their last 8 matches. Away from home, it doesn't look amazing either. And, they've only won once, but they've only lost twice. And one of them was away at Bayern. So they do get a lot of draws. And I think, again, that's probably what the price is here. But what stands out for me when I'm looking at Stuttgart's matches is they haven't played many teams away from home in the bottom half. Okay, so I think the standard of their games has been quite high. they've only played one team from the bottom 8, and they did win that match. And their record generally, when you look at also their home games as well, is good against lower teams in the league. They're unbeaten against teams in the bottom half, winning 4 of the 5 they've played. So I feel like Stuttgart is a team that I think they had quite a lot of injuries as well at one point, and I think that they've had quite a hard fixture list. So they won well last night in the Champions League. So I just feel like maybe the tide can turn and Stuttgart can go on a bit of a run. And they're playing a Heidenheim team who are 3rd from bottom. I think, it was, I backed, the one I was talking about that I backed against Heidenheim was Eintracht Frankfurt a couple of weeks ago. And they ended up winning that soundly on this ground. I think it was 4-0, 4-1.
4-0.
4-0, wasn't it? Yeah. They followed that result up with another loss last week. Okay, that was to Bayern Munich. But, obviously they're good teams, Eintracht Frankfurt and Bayern Munich. But they also lost to Holstein Kiel fairly recently as well. So they're effectively losing to everyone. They've lost 9 of their last 10. The only point they did get in that run of 10 was against fellow strugglers Hoffenheim. So it doesn't look great for Heidenheim right now. They've played 4 home matches against teams in the top half, which Stuttgart still are currently, even if they're underperforming. They're still currently a top half team. And in those 4 home matches they played, Heidenheim, against top half teams, they lost all 4. So, look, it's not that Stuttgart are giving me massive confidence here, but I just think that maybe it's an opportunity of the market that's pricing Stuttgart in a way that you probably wouldn't normally get. And I think there is just enough evidence there to point to an away team, an away win, at 1.85. Yeah, I'm going to go for it.
I have another thing to add to it that you're probably going to like is Stuttgart played yesterday at home in Europe. And Heidenheim is playing tonight, Thursday night, in Turkey, in Istanbul, away from home. So
lovely.
To add to equation. So they have to little
lovely
left.
Yeah.
And I really like the price as well. As you were as you were talking about it, you talked me into this one. The only thing that's holding me back is that it's Germany, and you sometimes have those mixed results. Just as the Dutch second division, you can't really trust the results in that way. That there's sometimes there are these upsets that you didn't expect. But for this price, I like Stuttgart, definitely. Good pick.
Yeah, I think so. Like you say, it is random. I don't go heavily into Germany sometimes because of that reason. Goals are often a good play in Germany, but the odds reflect that as well. So it's a country I don't bet on a lot, but every now and then you see something that's worth a try, and I think this is one of those. A country. Yeah, let's go. A country that I do like betting on. I haven't bet a lot on recently. I haven't found great value, but certainly towards the beginning of the season, it was a country we found quite good value. And I'm going to, without going back through all the podcasts, I'm going to go and say that I think that I personally have a better conversion rate with value picks out of France than any other country this season.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think so. Like I was thinking about this because I look at France and don't often find something. And I was remembering at the beginning of the season that we picked quite a lot, especially Marseille, and there were some other ones as well, some random teams. And I was thinking, I can't even remember losing that much with French picks. So let's hope that trend continues this weekend. And I'm going for the team that played last night against my team, Arsenal, and it's Monaco. Monaco are playing Reims. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but they are 2.0, so even money for this match. And Monaco are currently 3rd in the league. Reims are mid-table, so they're not duffers. They're not a terrible team, but I just think that there's enough here to go on. Monaco have won 3 of the last 4 games. They won last week against Toulouse, 2-0 win. That's also a kind of mid-table team, same sort of level. Well, I say Reims are a bit better, but same kind of position. But Reims are in bad form. They've lost 4 of the last 7. They got a draw away from home last week to Strasbourg, a 0-0 draw, but that Strasbourg are struggling near the bottom. And their last home match was a loss to Lens. who are currently seventh. So not great form, Reims. Monaco, on the other hand, they look good away from home. They've won 4 of their 6 played away from home this season. The 2 losses that they came up against were against Marseille and Nice, who are both currently in the top 6. Reims have only won 2 at home all season, which were 2 teams in the bottom half. The only result that stands out is that, like they did draw at home to PSG. But when I looked at that result, that was way back in September. Reims in that time were on a 6-game unbeaten run. So they were in a little bit of form at that time they played PSG. It was a long time ago. Since then, they have been terrible run. They're up against Monaco. They've got the second best defence in the league. And very strangely, I don't know if you look too much into this sort of stuff, Rob, but very strangely, this fixture has been won by the away team the last 5 matches in a row.
Wow.
Quite strange, that one. Yeah. And Monaco won at this stadium 3 of the last 4 visits in total. So they like playing here. This result usually goes to the away team. Monaco, even money. Arsenal made light work of them yesterday, but there was a patch in the second half where about 15-minute period where they actually knocked it around and they threatened a little bit and they played some nice football. So, yeah, up against obviously a worse team than Arsenal. Yeah, I like it. Even money.
Okay. Back in Monaco.
Back in Monaco. Okay. Then last but not least, Rob, you mentioned it at the start of the show, a little gem that you might have found. It's Santa Clara in Portugal. What have you got?
Yeah, Santa Clara. It's a team that I've been looking at since a couple of weeks now. They're playing away from home against Arouca. They are last in Portugal, Arouca. They only have 8 points out of 13 matches. And Santa Clara is actually doing a really good job this season. They have 27 points out of 13 matches. If you look at the form, Santa Clara has won their last 4 matches. If you look at the results, correct scores, it's all 1-0. So maybe keep that in mind as well. So they tend to not score a great amount of goals, but also try not to concede any. So they've been doing great in that part. And if you look at Arouca, they've lost 5 out of the last 6 matches. And you can find the price. Wait, I have some different. Santa Clara, I found it for 2.3. So I actually like, again, value for this price. It's not like a sure thing. Definitely same with Athletic de Bilbao. I just like the price. I look at the form, and I think the bookies are still underestimating Santa Clara at this moment of time. And yeah, if you want to play it safer, you can do it, back it or draw, like Santa Clara or draw. But I think the prices are getting a little bit shorter on that. So probably would be around 1.4. It's my guess. But yeah, I'm picking Santa Clara again this week. Maybe they are my new Aberdeen.
Okay. Santa Clara, the new Aberdeen. You heard it here first. Wow. Yeah. Look, I think I mentioned last week or the week before that we were struggling to find value picks, and here we are with 9 of them. It's a big weekend. That's 9 value picks we found this weekend, plus a double. So there's 10 picks in total there. So could be a big one, Rob.
Yeah, we like to play them as singles, right? And if you just win 5 out of those 9, then you have a winnable weekend, and that's the way to go. Like, yeah, I'm looking.
And obviously, we like ourselves to pick more than 5 out of 9, but that's kind of looking at it as look, what do I need not to lose money?
Exactly.
I think I said, yeah, I've said before. First, you've got to learn how not to lose money before you can learn how to win money, and that's why the single 1 unit plays on these type of bets is the way to go. Yes, it takes longer. Yes, it feels frustrating sometimes when, a couple win, you're like, oh, why didn't I double that up? Why didn't I chase that? But ultimately, it's about building bankroll. And this is the strategy that we've really hit on this year, isn't it, Rob? And we just feel that it's the safer way, because you can have a bad weekend and at the end of it, you're like, okay, that wasn't too damaging. And then one weekend it all hits and all of a sudden you jump up massively, and then you just contain that balance and, a little bit up, little bit up, little bit up.
Exactly. And then when you're up, then you can increase your unit size as well. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's the way to go for us, and it definitely is paying out. So yeah, let's keep it going.
Okay, great. So let's move on to the more fun part, if you like, where we do the quick fire rounds, the Accas. But before that, Rob, we had you introduced a little bit of fun last week. You gave me a quiz picking. You came with 5 Dutch players that played in the Premier League. You gave me them one at a time, and I had to rank them from 1 to 5. I think I absolutely nailed it. And had you given me the 5 up front, that's exactly how I would put it. So I've got the exact same thing for you, Rob. It's another 5 Dutch players that played in the Premier League because there's been a lot, let's face it. I'll give you a couple of tips or yeah, a little hint before I start, right?
Okay,
None of
okay,
these players you picked last week. Okay, so they're a brand new 5. Okay, so there's no Van Persie, there's no Bergkamp. They
okay.
are all attacking players as well. So I'll give you that little hint as well.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, so rank me in your 1 to 5, Mr. Arjen Robben.
Wow. Wow. Uh, like for me, he's wow. Wow. During his time in Chelsea, he wasn't he was good, but he wasn't that good. The man of class, but an unbelievable player, to be honest. One of the
Yeah,
best players
actually, as
ever.
you just said that, sorry, Rob, to interrupt. Just as you said that, let me say that I want you to rank these players as you see them overall, not their
Yeah.
time in Premier League. There's a couple of these players that were not Premier League legends. They're Dutch legends that may have finished their career. I'm not looking at how good they were in the Premier League. I'm looking at them as a player, full stop. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna rank him 2 because it could have been
Yeah.
1. Like in hindsight, it can be 1. It's a good first pick. Well,
But
he's
you
gonna be
don't
on
know
number
who's
2.
coming. You don't know who's coming. Right.
I'm
We
guessing who's
spoke
coming in
about
my head. I have one
we've
guess in my head that's coming. That has to be
we've,
1 then.
we spoke about him before, Mr. Van der Man, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Oh, also a very good player. Wow. That like the way he played, he's not as good as Robin, so he's gonna go. But I don't know. It's kind of hard because you don't know who's coming. So it's a good game to be honest. I'm gonna rank him number 3.
Number 3, Van der Man. Next, Patrick Kluivert, the daddy. The daddy to Mr. Kluivert playing for Bournemouth right now, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah, there are some stories that I don't like about him. So I'm gonna put him on number 5, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good
Fine.
player though. He's a very athletic player, but yeah, different. And definitely, if you look at the Van Nistelrooy, how he performed in England, I will take that a little bit more into an account than yeah, Ruud van Nistelrooy is number 3, and Kluivert goes on to number 5.
Okay, so Ruud Gullit.
Yes, that's the one. I figured like he should have been there. He's number 1. I think he won us the silverware that we really wanted for Holland so far. So Ruud Gullit goes on to number 1.
Yeah, I think you're glad that you picked him as number 1 because you ain't going to want the next one to be number 1. Pierre Van Hooijdonk.
Wow. Okay, that should have been like I actually like him because he plays for Feyenoord and he did unbelievable things. Like this free kick is like it's so good. Like I don't know if you notice it, but like when he was playing for Feyenoord at the time that they won the UEFA Cup, like every free kick he just scored. Like it unbelievable. Look at YouTube, look at free kicks from Pierre van Hooijdonk. He was at the same level as David Beckham in his prime, to be honest. Just about free kick taking, and I know how good Beckham is. So yeah, but he's now number 4. He should have been 5 then. Maybe that's the only thing that I wanted to turn around. But besides that, it's fine.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you did well with that, actually. I'd probably swap Kluivert and Van Hooijdonk around, but yeah, I think you nailed it.
Wow, we go again next week.
Yeah, we'll find a different topic next week. But it's quite fun, isn't it? It's hard because you really don't know what's coming next. You kind of have a prediction of who it
Yeah,
might be,
that's why
but
there was.
yeah.
That's why I didn't put Robin on one because I was hoping, okay, did Cruyff play? No. Van Hanegem? No. Okay, then we only have Gullit, Van Basten left. That's better than Robin, to be honest. So I really like Robin, and yeah, glad that you
Yes.
said Gullit.
Yeah, good, good. Okay, so let's move on to the quick fire round. Again, for any new listeners, our quick fire round is we normally pick the game of the day Saturday, game of the day Sunday. We each take it in turns to speak about it for 30-second countdown and finish with a correct scoreline and anytime goal scorer. This weekend, actually, one of the matches is Monday. We've got the Manchester Derby, which is Sunday, I believe. And then on Monday, we have an Italian classic. So I think I might know where you're going with this. Lazio versus Inter Milan. So, shall we? Who's going to start with the Manchester Derby?
Okay, okay, you can always choose, huh? You know you can choose.
I'll let you start with the Manchester Derby.
Okay, okay.
You
Um,
ready?
yes, I am ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, the Manchester Derby. Maybe this is the first time since a long time that both teams are ranked that low, and they're not in a greatest form. Definitely, if you look at Manchester City, it's unbelievable in the run they are at. Manchester United, you're hoping that Amorim does the trick and lets them play better. I think it's gonna be a draw, 1-1. And I'm going for something strange. Kevin De Bruyne to score outside of the box for 126.0.
Wow. You went more than 30 seconds, but I think I'll let you off when you finish with a odds of that. What was that? 100 and what?
Yeah. So 1-1, correct score. And then Kevin De Bruyne to score outside of the box for 126.0. So
Wow.
remember,
I'm
guys,
definitely
it's a
gonna.
fun play. It's a fun play, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
kind of
think I'll
like
just
the
have
odds.
a. I
That's
think I'll just have a
promising.
euro on it just for pure fun.
Yeah, and I think it could happen. Like Kevin De Bruyne, he must be motivated. Didn't play much, so yeah, I think he's gonna have a go for sure.
It's funny. I actually it was the first name that come to my head when I was thinking about goal scorer for this match. In fact, but not still not 100% sure if he's playing or what. So yeah, like it. Why not?
Okay, here we go. You want me to count you in?
Yes, please.
3, 2, 1, go.
I really don't know. This can go either way. Normally, you would back Man City, Man United under Amarin. Yeah, maybe a little bit better, but then conceding 3 goals last week, Nottingham Forest. I don't know. I think Man City have to turn it around at some point. They're not going to last forever like this. What better than a Manchester derby? Let's go for a 3-1 Man City win. Foden to score anytime, 23.0.
Wow, good shout. A good lot of goals, but yeah, let's see.
Honestly, I've never been so confused over a Manchester derby in my life.
No, it's very strange times.
Indeed, it is. Okay, should we move on to this Italian classic Monday?
Yeah, we can move on. It's fine.
Okay, count me in.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Lazio unbeaten at home against Inter Milan, unbeaten away. However, neither of those teams have played teams in the top six. So Lazio haven't played anyone currently in the top six at home, and Inter haven't played anyone currently in the top six away. I am going to sit on the fence, however. I'm going to go for a draw, slightly more goals than an Italian classic. 1-1, Marcus Thuram to score for Inter Milan, 21.0.
Wow, right on time. You delivered 30 seconds, right on the clock.
Okay, good. Yours might not take 30 seconds. Do you want me to count you in?
Yeah, you can count me in.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, you said it right. You already saw it coming. I have another Italian classic coming up. To be honest, the results are coming in. We picked this one twice, it came in twice, and I'm going again for a goalless draw, 0-0. And you actually find the price quite high. It's 10.0, so you can find it at 10.0. That's about it. Nothing more to
Okay.
say about this one.
No, but then we'll still get there. Right. Wow. Okay. So a nil-nil classic. I knew you were coming with that, but like you said, you've called it twice on the previous original. How do you explain these classics? The original teams, like the classic teams. How would you say that, Rob?
I don't know. I've been betting for quite a while, for a long time, and it's like one of those rules that you always have to keep in mind. Watch out within, like you can look at the form, look at how they're playing, but when Italian big teams are playing against each other, they are so good at defending and they don't want to lose any points. So they're very capable of getting a goalless draw. And then they're both satisfied. And yeah, it seems to work out every now and then. So yeah, I'll keep backing that price. I don't have any
But
more.
when
Yeah.
but when you say about these classics, you're talking like the original classics. What I mean, like
Yeah,
not
Juventus
Fiorentina
against
and
AC
Atalanta.
Milan. Yeah, exactly. The classic teams. Like I think they have a lot to lose for the fans as well. So maybe that's in their mind as well. Like it's better to get a draw than to lose. So and definitely teams like Atalanta are always playing for the win, or most of the times very attacking. So yeah, then you get different results, and they have different playing styles as well. And I think some traditions are built into teams. Like I would want to talk about a little bit about Real Madrid. Like they always seem to win when they really need to, and they needed to get a win against Atalanta, and then all of a sudden they show up. So I think it's in that DNA, and similar goes for the Italian teams. It's in their DNA to get no goals conceded. It's very important for them. It's just as important as a win sometimes. And when they're playing against each other, it tends to happen quite a lot. So yeah, keep an eye on it. It's still a fun play. You look at the odds, 10.0. It's definitely not a sure thing, but yeah, worked out so far this season.
Let's go. Let's go. The nil-nil classic. Right, moving on to another classic. That is your big gun Acca. We alluded to it at the beginning of the pod that you've gone big again. What have you got for us?
Okay, I have a ninefold, and I will call them out in chronological order. First team, Arsenal, Liverpool, PSV, Juventus, Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Ajax, Chelsea, and AC Milan. You can combine this ninefold for 9.59. So we're really going for it, this one. They're all playing at home. So yeah, I like it.
Okay, let's go.
Pick and choose.
Let's
And like if you don't like a team, you can always get one off your list because it's quite a long list, to be honest. But we did had a winner before that was this big, so it may be closer to a student DACA. But yeah, this time we go
it,
for
it, it, it is close to the student Acca. The student Acca is only a couple of points higher on the odds. However, there is one team that find their way on both Accas, and that's Atletico Madrid. So if you're going to play both, maybe drop Atletico Madrid so you don't lose both Accas based on one team. That's always annoying. But look, we've said that in the past, and usually the team that we had on both Accas actually won. I can't think of too many that let us down in that situation.
exactly. And yeah, I
So
like it when they're playing at home.
yeah, so let's go with a student ACCA. I've got six teams, and I will start in the Netherlands with FC Twente, who are playing FC Groningen. Groningen, how do you say that, Rob?
Groningen.
Oh, yeah, totally different. Groningen. So FC Twente, I've got Real Madrid, we spoke about, Atletico Madrid, Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are facing Holstein Kiel, Union Berlin, who are playing bottom of the league, Bochum. Is it Bochum or Bochum? Bochum.
Bochum. Bochum.
Bochum, he needed them, Bochum. And Atalanta against Cagliari. So again, we've got FC Twente, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Union Berlin, and Atalanta for odds of 11.43. Just to reiterate, guys, the way that we play these Accas is we play one unit on the big Gun Acca, being hugely successful this season. Student Acca, not so much, but we only play 0.25 of a unit on it, or even 0.2 if you don't want to go that much. So there are two Accas for the week, guys.
Yes, there they are. Let's hope.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. Student Acca losing faith. We can't find a winner. But anyway, let's go. Bet of the week, Rob. I did the weirdest coin toss last week, which basically meant I couldn't lose. What are you going for this week? I think we're fighting again over FC Utrecht. I've stole them again. What are you going for?
I am going for my beloved, or my newly beloved, Santa Clara. I like that
Santa
pick.
Clara.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a longer shot. As you said, I really like FC Utrecht as well. Definitely while they're playing at home, and I don't know that much about Santa Clara yet. But if I look, and definitely not about Arouca, but if you look at the form of Arouca and the form of Santa Clara, I'm going to have back Santa Clara as the bet of the week.
Yeah, I like that one as well, actually. I've gone for FC Utrecht. They were my bet of the week last week. We both won our bet of the weeks last week. So Rob remains 2 up versus me in the season tally. Yeah, keep maintaining that distance. But like I always say, if you're winning, we're winning. So not going to complain too much.
Exactly.
And yeah, look, FC Utrecht. I like a couple of my picks, obviously, this week, but this is the only pick that I've made at home. So yeah, I like to go for that one as my bet of the week at even money. FC Utrecht. Let's go.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, Rob, let's have a really quick round up. I mean, there's a lot of picks there this week, so I'm just going to fly through them all again, and then we'll come to the end of the pod. So our picks for this week are Wycombe away at Shrewsbury. We've got PEC Zwolle, Vitesse, FC Eindhoven, FC Utrecht. We have Athletic Bilbao. We have the Madrid double, both Real and Atletico to win. We have Stuttgart away at Heidenheim. We have Monaco, and we have Santa Clara. There are bet of the weeks. You've got your two Accas. Rob, that does bring us to the end. Where can people find us?
Yeah, you can find us across all the platforms, almost every platform, social media platform. You can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Spotify, you can find us on Apple Podcasts. We are mainly on X as well. If you want to look into the picks and have a little bit more analysis behind it, you can follow us all the weekend. And you can find us on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook, and that's about it. So just fill in the betting connection. We really appreciate everyone listening, and we really like your comments and your reposting. It's really motivating us to keep on going, and hopefully we can deliver again with a winning podcast.
Well said, Rob. Couldn't say it better myself. So I will leave it for that. Have a great weekend. Lots to chew on this weekend. Very excited about it. Have a good one, guys. Ciao for now.
Happy betting.